Welcome to the Beau Show. Because I'm a musician, I always like to make musical analogies, since music runs concurrent to culture and influences culture. And music has also sometimes taken the form of being counterculture. At times, music has been used as a galvanizing force for political change. I think of music during the Vietnam War, such as Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater Revival, or even War by Edwin Starr, who says that the song was never about the Vietnam War, but about the racial wars going on in communities. Either way, it makes you think. And when it comes to politics, the Democrat Party has tried to adopt cozy bedfellows in the music and arts communities. When it comes to election time, you'll see all these big artists come out to stump for Democrats. From Beyonce to John Legend to Bruce Springsteen. They did this for Obama, and they did it again with Biden. They say, "Down with the oppression by the rich old white man." And then they go sing for him. So last week, to celebrate the signing of the Inflation Reduction Act, Joe Biden commissioned the help of singer James Taylor, the sweet-voiced crooner of songs such as Fire and Rain, How Sweet It Is, Carolina in My Mind, Sweet Baby James, and You've Got a Friend. Let's take a listen to Taylor singing one of his classic hits, Fire and Rain.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne plans they made put an end to you. I walked out this morning and I wrote down the song. I just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days I thought they'd never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought I'd see you again.
But that just didn't seem to land right. So I felt the song needed a rework. So here is a reimagined version of Fire and Rain, more suitable to the times and crises.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Biding the plans they made and put an end to you. Soros and Co were working hard, and I wrote down this song. I just can't remember who to send it to. Well, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen inflation days that just may never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought I'd see America again. Been walking my mind to a climate time and worry about the sun. They say we'll all burn up with these fossil fuels, but opioids and heart attacks in China are far worse. They wag the dog and play us all for fools. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen gas and food prices that never end. I've seen pandemic rules that made me lose my friends. But I always thought I'd see America again.
This song was released in 1970, so Sweet Baby James has certainly seen Fire and Rain, but he hasn't seen inflation rates this high since the 70s. Let's hear what James had to say about his attendance at the White House.
What a beautiful day it is, and what a hopeful moment this is too, and what a great thing to be here. And and celebrate such important legislation, and what an achievement. It strikes me that this is a time when the world needs to cooperate more than ever before. Perhaps more than anything since the Second World War. The world needs to get together and respond to the climate crisis. And I think that people should look at it as a great opportunity for us to come together to protect our home, and to recognize the uniqueness of the great good fortune of living on this planet.
Then Taylor performed another one of his hits from 1971, You Can Close Your Eyes. Let's listen in.
Kim and I are going to sing a song we sang to our kids all the time. Hope it doesn't put you to sleep as well as it did then. Oh, the sun is surely sinking down, but the moon is slowly rising. So this whole world must still be spinning around. Yes, and I still love you. So close your eyes. You can close your eyes. It's all right. No, I don't know no love songs, and I can't sing the blues anymore. Sure, but I can sing this song, and you can sing this song when I'm gone.
Now, Biden was not actually napping, to my knowledge, but somewhere, I bet he was closing his eyes. Now, what is peculiar is that James Taylor has an interesting story. He's up there in D.C. talking about this historic moment and how everyone needs to come together to talk about climate change, the religious cause of the left. Yet Taylor's father was an alcoholic. According to the LA Times, when asked why his father married a woman he didn't love, he replied that because his own mother had died in childbirth, he didn't want to get too emotionally attached. The young JT spent some of his young adulthood in psychiatric hospitals for depression, and turned to his artistic inclination to begin to write songs therapeutically. The Beatles' own Apple Records released Taylor's first self-titled album in 1968, but Taylor couldn't promote it because he needed to get help for drug addiction. According to Taylor, Suzanne, whom Taylor refers to in the opening lines of Fire and Rain, refers to Suzanne Schnurr, a friend of JT's that he played with in a band called The Flying Machine, and with whom he used to get high. In 1968, when Taylor was recording his first album, he later learned that Schnurr had committed suicide, which is why Taylor refers to it in the song as the plans they made put an end to you, as in fate had determined it. According to an interview with Rolling Stone, Taylor says that the second verse of Fire and Rain is about his personal and professional anxiety. And the third verse is about his recuperation in Austin Riggs, a residential treatment facility. According to Oprah's Masterclass, Taylor's drummer in The Flying Machine introduced him to smack, or heroin. He used heroin in the late 60s, got treatment for it, got put on a methadone maintenance program to wean him off the heroin addiction. But by the summer of 1971, Taylor was back on heroin. He became reliant on methadone for about 20 years. And in 1983, with the overdose and death of his friend John Belushi, it was a wake-up call to Taylor. He says that those drugs took a hard toll on him because he describes them as freezing you or halting your development. Because rather than experiencing true trial and error and learning how to surmount hardship, personally or professionally, you just hit the escape button that makes you feel good. In 1983, he began 12-step programs to sobriety, arguing that you just have to sweat it out. Taylor's first of 3 marriages was to singer Carly Simon, and she describes it as full of chaos, as a drug-addicted Taylor was emotionally distant and unfaithful. Taylor has remained distant towards Simon, to the extent that she has been prevented from performing at venues if James Taylor is performing there. Taylor has argued that such a measure is the point of divorce. His second marriage was to actress Catherine Walker, which she seems to indicate was highly fraught and unhappy as well in her thinly veiled novel, A Stopover in Venice. His third wife is Boston Symphony trustee Kim Hesburgh Taylor, who joined JT on stage for the song You Can Close Your Eyes. Taylor told The Guardian that he gave John Lennon opiates in the late 60s, which likely led to an addiction for Lennon, and the eventual breakup of the Beatles, according to the BBC. Taylor even met future Lennon assassin Mark David Chapman in a subway the day before he shot Lennon, in which he pinned Taylor to a wall maniacally and told him he was going to get in touch with John Lennon. Taylor's older brother Alex was also a gifted musician, but succumbed to alcoholism, as addiction seems to run in the Taylor family tree. Taylor also had to pay $1.7 million in restitution for his wife Kim's brother, Albert Hesburgh III, who, although did the noble act of sponsoring Taylor for his AA treatment, was found guilty of wire fraud, mail fraud, and a false tax return, cheating his law firm clients out of $2 million. So this is the troubled history of James Taylor, and I walk through it with you not to highlight his tribulations, but because he is in a very unique place to be a positive influence on young generations. The most obvious issue would be opioid addiction, which is plaguing our country.